This meeting is being recorded.
Hello,
Happy Labor
hello.
Day, everybody.
So,
How's everybody doing?
doing good.
Great.
Awesome, awesome. We got a crap ton of Fathoms in the waiting room. Everybody's using Fathom. Holy. Anyways, awesome guys. Who's the
I
first
like
time?
I like your white shirt, man.
Thank you. It's actually like cream. Something like a cream color. I don't know. It might look white because of I've got white light, so it looks white.
Yeah,
Not quite white though. But awesome. Whose first time is it on one of these calls?
My first time.
me too.
Stan, Mahmood.
Yeah, mine too.
Sweet. Awesome. Is it everyone's first time? It might be. Cool, cool, cool. So I'll let you guys know how these calls work. We had them paused for most of August, but we're kicking back off. Every single week on Mondays, we do one of these open calls. Realistically, they're just calls for me to support in any way I can. Sometimes that's call reviews. Most of the time, that's Q&A, reviewing, 1-minute videos. Pretty much, I dedicate this hour to whatever it is you guys want, need, and want to work on. So we kind of just open up the floor. You can either raise hands or just jump in, ask questions, and
Okay.
we kind of just let the call go wherever it goes. Sound good?
Yes, can we check the Loom video, please?
Yeah, man. 100%. You got a
Okay.
1-minute video you want to take a look at? Just drop it in the
Yes,
chat, drop a
please.
link.
Oh, I can do that. Yes.
Yeah, drop a link. We'll share screen and we'll take a look at it. While he's doing that, does anyone have any questions, anything else they'd like to go over?
Done.
So I have one.
Yeah, what's up?
So I am an appointment setter for quite a year now, but I have recently transitioned into tech sales. And my first role is an SDR, and I'm doing a bunch of cold calls like it was my first day. So any tips on that? Like the cold calls because I haven't done before because I was a DM setter. So
Okay, so you're just doing a ton of cold calls. What's the kind of setup? Do they have lead lists for you to get through every day? Are you kind of just producing your own? What's the setup look like?
so the guys have provided me with a lead list, and they have given me a software too. It's OpenPhone, so I'm
Hmm.
using that to make calls. So yeah, they have given me a lead list.
Sweet. One thing I'll say with tech sales and you being a new SDR on the team is don't neglect both long-term and short-term activities to generate pipeline. When you're dealing, obviously depends on the accounts you're working on, but there's going to be a long sales cycle the higher up the ladder you need to speak to. So speaking to like selling B2C versus selling like the more corporate you go to sales managers, selling to executives, C-suite, those kinds of things, the sales cycle is only going to get longer and longer. So what you see a lot of the top sales executives do in tech sales is they nurture a ton and they do a lot of research and they go more of a quality over quantity type of approach, right? So again, this will be very contextual to the type of product or service you're selling, the ticket size and everything like that. But instead of like, okay, let me just call 100, 200 people today, maybe you make a targeted list of 20 or 30, hit that list, but then also hit those targets from multiple angles. So I'm going to hit the decision maker. I'm going to call them. I'm going to email them. I'm going to connect with them on LinkedIn. If you have a great company you're working with that gets a lot of testimonials, case studies, those kinds of things, maybe you're posting those on your profile to build some goodwill and build, um, you know, passively nurture people that respond to your connection requests and they kind of see that in the background. So it's kind of like you want to split up your day between the short-term activities where I need to do X, Y, and Z to get sales now, but I'm also going to do some things. I'm going to allocate maybe it's an hour a day, 30 minutes a day for those long-term activities so that I can build trust and build familiarity over time so that way sales also becomes easier because and this doesn't even just go for tech sales, even closers, appointment setters, all that. If all you're always doing is the things that will convert in the now in the short term, it kind of puts you on like a hamster wheel of sales, which, you can make a lot of money doing that, but then you're always chasing the new relationship, the new conversation. One thing I loved about closing deals was I focused a lot on pipeline as well. So that way, sometimes I'm closing 3, 4, 5, 6 clients a month just by texting them checkout links because I spoke to them 6 months ago and we've stayed in contact. Or that, working referrals and those kinds of things. So never neglect, and you're going to see a lot of people tell you to, there's going to be a lot of focus to, there's a lot of temptation to neglect those longer term activities, but try to find a good dichotomy between both. I would say that's one of the main pieces of advice I'll give you jumping into that role. Sound good?
Yeah, so these guys are basically a startup. These are California based, and majority these are selling to plumbers and car dealers. So I'm selling two offers. First one is $120 a month subscription, and other one is $500. And what they're basically doing is, if you close $120, you keep $120. So for first month, you are making 100% commission, and for the rest of the month, the company will make money. Like, you are not getting any recurring revenue. So that is pretty much the offer. So I'm speaking to plumbers and car dealers. So that's where we're doing cold call.
Yeah, and plumbers and car dealers, like there's a lot, like that's a hugely referral based business as well. So I would like every single person you close, I would milk it for as many referrals I can get as well. So plumbers know a lot of other plumbers. You know what I mean? Car
Yes.
dealers, they probably work with other dealerships for certain things, like whether it's like if it's obviously a big dealer, they're transferring cars between dealerships or whatever. There's lots of ways in which they can collaborate. So referrals would be huge once you do start closing some clients.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I want to review Stan's 1 minute video and then we'll address some of the other hands that are up. Let me just share screen real quick. Everyone can see this?
Yes.
Sweet. Let's review your intro video.
Quick question. If your most skeptical leads could become qualified appointments without pressure, what would that allow you to focus on? I'm Stan Deutschev, and I have to think about it into let's do it using question-led discovery and close with confidence. This year alone, I invested over $43,000 in advanced training like NEPQ and high-ticket remote sales because great conversations create great pipelines. My method is simple. Clarify the real problem, quantify the impact, and lock in the next step that proves value. That's how I keep up deals moving. And fun fact about me, I'm certified personal trainer and I treat pipeline like training. Consistent reps, clear metrics, and steady PRs. If you want a rep who shows up prepared and asks sharp questions and closes deal with confidence, let's set up the targets and build up the plan to win. My information is down below.
Okay, not a bad video, not a bad video at all. One thing you always want to look at, I'll talk about kind of the look is good, the setup's good, lighting's good, everything like that in terms of like just location and all that stuff, solid. The one thing I would say is it took us 20 seconds to really talk about, like for you to start selling yourself. The beginning was you asking a question. Unique way to start it, not a terrible way. I just think it dragged on a little bit too long. And the reason why is because out of all of the times I've ever watched recruiters watch intro videos, I've never seen them get past 20 seconds, maybe like once or twice. So they usually are listening to the first 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds and they usually make their decision from there. So what I want you guys to think about when you make these intro videos is what can I do or what can I say to spark interest in that first little bit, right? Now, usually what this is, if you do have any kind of sales background history or track record, usually it's the numbers, it's the facts, it's the data. If you don't have that, then you're going to have to pretty much just utilize what you can about transferable skills and reasons why you'd be a good fit and why they should care to, continue watching the video. So first thing I'll ask you, Stan, is this like your first time jumping to a sales role or do you have prior sales experience?
So I started with solar door-to-door in Arizona, and then I found an offer working for a marketing agency. It was a startup, and I was doing that for 2 months. I couldn't close a single person, and my mentor told me to find a more established offer with a proven sales process because this startup they don't have like any revenue.
hmm
So
And what about, because so you didn't close any deals there, so maybe you don't want to use that, but I'm assuming you did some deals in door to door.
yes.
Okay, so I would use that revenue just as a way to hook them in. You want to have some kind of hook, right? Like if
Hmm.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, why should I bring this person on as a salesperson? Anything that you can use to hook that attention, revenue is the best way. So in all of your years door to door, you have to say, okay, what's the sexiest number I can throw? So maybe, I don't know if you're doing high ticket or low ticket, but like what was the revenue generated versus like what was the units you sold? What about those two numbers? What did those look like?
$430,000 total for revenue for
Hmm
8 months period. So one account could be from $20,000 to $100,000. Usually
Okay.
between 20 and 70.
So if we go back to your video, and let's listen to what question we asked to kick it off. Again, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm not going to tell anyone they got to start it off the exact same way I would every single time because I do want you guys to use your uniqueness because the whole point is to stand out. But I want to see if we can do it in kind of the most attractive way for business owners. So let's hear that
Mm-hmm.
question one
Yeah.
more time.
Quick question. If your most skeptical leads could become qualified appointments without pressure, what would that allow you to focus on? I'm Stan Deutsche, and I have to think about it into let's do it using
So what if you said, what if your most attractive leads could turn into what you said? I'm Stan and I've closed over 400K in the last 8 months in my previous sales role and then jumped into it. You know what I mean? Like even just like
Mm-hmm.
plugging that in would be
Yeah.
enough of a light bulb to be like, oh, okay, let me listen to what this guy's got to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, or it's what if question, um, I've done X, Y, and Z. I'm Stan and I've done X, Y, and Z, and that's exactly how I could help. And then you could say the rest about yourself and your history and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because you saying like you kind of start off by being like I've invested in training. I'm a certified personal trainer. None of that was as interesting as the as what you told me about closing over 400K in 8 months. Even though it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
remote high ticket sales, it was still high
Yeah.
ticket, just wasn't remote. When there's
I
so
was
much transferable
I
stuff from
was
there.
setting appointments. I wasn't closing deals.
Either same way, same thing,
Okay,
right?
it doesn't matter.
You were
Sure.
still part of the sales process, and it still
Yeah.
sounds better than just I've invested in XYZ training because I guarantee you every single person on this call says they invested in something in their intro video. So it's
Well,
not
yeah,
going to
but
differentiate
nobody
you,
here, I
you
can
know?
assure you, invested over almost $50,000.
I've heard more. I've heard more. And it's like
Yes.
and that like it's not as enticing as you think, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter how much you spend, it matters how much you bring. Yeah.
Because
Makes
you could have
sense.
spent 50K on one crappy coach.
Yeah,
You know, you
true,
never know.
true.
Um, cool.
And
That's the change I would make
I'm
here.
here to learn from you and everybody. So yes, I will definitely um take that advice.
Sweet. Well, that's the change I would make primarily to this one. Try to
Hmm.
front load it with stuff that is super interesting, which would be the facts and data that prove that you either have sold or can sell, right?
Yeah.
So I would front load it with that. Um,
Hmm.
I know James, you've had your hand up for a while. What's up, man?
Hey Ty, yeah, appreciate you doing this, man. Yeah, my question's kind of going off of Stan's. Is my sales background is more like I would say it's more like post-sale relationship management slash like customer success type of role where technically I am selling, but it's like I'm only upselling clients that are already bought in. And what I sell is basically like B2B ads. So
Hmm
I'm wondering if I
A
wanted
back
to.
end ascension sales, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if I wanted to transition into sort of like your typical high ticket, whether it's B2B or even B2C closer type of role, how I should approach that. Should I just start the video off with like, hey, I've upsold, 100K in the last 3, 4 months, or even if it's not directly the same thing that the sales manager might be looking for, or
Yeah, I would kick it off being like the bulk of my experience is in client success work where I've upsold over 100 and XYZK in the last XYZ months. Because of my history as a CSM, I understand customers and I understand the buyer's journey and what it takes for them to get results. Your CSM track record will go really, really well within the same niche. I think it would be simple for you to land a role, especially with a
Mm,
1 minute video that presses on the fact that you understand what the clients want and actually how to deliver the coaching side of it or whatever aspect you were managing accounts. But I would definitely in my intro video, I would mention that stuff up front and I would say that your experience with the customers, whatever capacity that was, I would talk about how that makes you great closer. And you want to really be careful with the words and language you use. I would refrain from saying things like this is why I think it might make me good. This is why
mm,
it will make me good because this is all like unproven language. I want to say this is why I am good. This is why it does make me good. This is how it does correlate, right? It's like saying people saying like this is my experience and this is why I think I will be a good closer rather than being like based on this based on this experience, this is why I'm successful as a closer. This is why I'm a good closer. This is why I am these things, right? So you do want to be careful with how you translate that experience, but you can definitely bring it across for sure.
got it. Okay. And I mean, it would be easy for me to, because I'm on Rep Select, so I definitely am looking more at the B2B roles. Like I saw you posted the AE roles, or for a software, or even like um yeah, some sort of B2B service. But would you say for B2C, let's say it's like fitness, right? Would I
Mhm.
still try to draw, even though I've never actually sold on a fitness offer before, from like me doing B2B ad sales, which is, kind of vastly different?
Well, it depends. Like in your intro videos, if we're just talking about a general intro video, you'll
Yeah.
just talk about how it generally makes you good at sales. And that, I mean, you did do sales. Like I've been a CSM on an offer before, and there was tons of sales on the back end, right? So you will just talk about the sales you did do in that role. As for, we're talking more about like an interview capacity and how you make it specifically relate. Again, if it's something like advertising to fitness, it's not super correlated, but you do have the same type of sales experience that will do well there. And I've seen it a lot more difficult for people to try to use their B2C experience to get into B2B than the other way around, right? Because a
Mm,
lot of business owners and stuff like that, though they see B2B as just harder, which isn't necessarily the case. It's just different. But I don't think you'll necessarily struggle a ton to be like, hey, I've done all this stuff B2B. Now give me a shot B2C. But it will be the easiest to like go become a closer for like an advertising coaching program or like an agency or something because you
mm,
have that experience. So if you're just looking for the simplest, quickest way to land a role, I would apply for those roles. But if you're looking for a B2C, I think you'll be fine.
got it. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ty.
No problem. Next, we had up here Akbar. What's up, man? And I know we got some 1 minute videos in the
Hey,
chat. You can pull those up after.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so I have like three small questions. What is better? In my Loom video, I do like a presentation style type of Loom video. Is that better compared to this, or this this one better compared to that?
I've never seen any sales manager or recruiter or business owner ever want a presentation in the Loom video.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
it's because of the goal of the video is not like a lot of people overthink what they're saying in the video when most business owners don't really care much about what you're actually saying. It's the main thing they're assessing is how do you look, how do you sound, right? Are
Yeah.
you in an environment where I could see you taking, especially as a closer, as an appointment setter, yes, but especially as a closer, are you in an environment where I can see you taking calls from there, speaking to my type of clientele? If it's a B2B offer and we sell to high level executives, are you in an office or are you on your couch, right? You're gonna immediately get disqualified if you're not in at least an office type setting. Doesn't have to be an office, just has to be like, at least has to look like one, maybe like a blank wall or something. So if you send a woman a video that you're not in the right environment, you could be disqualified just off of that. And then they're looking at your communication skills. Are you presenting yourself confidently? Do you have a good cadence? How's your tonality? They're assessing that primarily above anything else, and that's why like it's not really about how good your presentation is and how extensive your history is. It's really just like, do I think you'd be a good part of the team? Do they talk well? Do they look good? I'll give them an interview. That's really what it boils down to primarily. The rest is all just trying to get a 1 to 2% edge.
Mm, okay, so I have like two small questions of this. Regarding my background, do I have to like paste something here like something like streamers do to make it look better or something?
You
Or is
don't you
it
don't
so
have to
fine?
have anything. I mean, it just looks like a black wall, right? Like what's behind you?
Yeah, that's simply background. Nothing that nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, white is usually better, but I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's going to get you any negative points.
Hmm.
Blurring your background or using a different background is usually will get you negative points, but maybe if you
Hmm.
could, I would say if I would change anything, I would want to again just make it look as office-like as possible. Maybe put a shelf behind you or move it back a
Okay.
little bit further or anything. But again, that would just be me saying how could make it better. It's not bad.
Hmm. Okay, so that's good. So like
If
my
there was
question,
anything, I would say your audio quality. If we could improve that,
yeah.
that would be the best thing to work on is better audio quality right now because you can it's a little bit chippy. It just sounds like you don't have a good mic, and that is something that they'll prejudge you on.
Yeah,
Tech, could
because of
you give me an
actually,
opinion about my quality of audio?
Yeah, yours is fine.
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So my last question is simply, is will my nationality affect the results of my, you know, Loom video or uh, my success in this field?
Are you doing it
Because I'm
strictly
Indian.
based off your nationality or is it based off your location? Because I do know based off location, some companies just
Yeah.
don't know how to pay people from certain countries, so it might be difficult for that, like for their tax reasons or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
and then some offers they want to have people on the offer that are from the same place as their prospects are going to be. So it might be a little bit difficult from that sense, but at the end of the day, it still boils down to skill set, how you look, how you sound. If you can prove that you can sell, you can definitely land a solid role. Also, obviously, hours. If you just can't work the hours, can't show up to team meetings and stuff like that based off of your time zone, that might make things a little bit difficult. I won't say it's the exact same. There definitely is bias, but I've seen lots of people from India and other countries also crushing on roles. So it's not like it's something that's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Is it Matthias? What's up, man?
Yeah, it's Matheus. Actually, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, I send you my long video so you can review. And the second is that currently I'm working in a cold calling offer, but the thing is that it's a startup and like they switched the niche every time. So like first we were in roofing and then transition to home renovation. And now we are in mobile mechanics. So in all these scenarios, they provide me like 200 leads for 4 cold callers. So like most of my dials, I did like 105 dials. So
Hmm.
my question is like, if I am in an interview, how can I, because they're gonna ask about this, like this offer that I am right now, how are you gonna present that in a way that I won't sound bad, and because I book like 2 meetings, but none of them like the close the deal. So that's my question. How would I present that?
So you're saying you booked 2 meetings in in how long? Like what was the time frame?
I mean, well, like because like I said, they were transitioning a lot, like the niche, but like they transition like this. In this case, it was renovation. Like in the same day they transition, like I was I was able to book the meeting, but like in the other days I was doing like 15 dials because there wasn't a lot of leads. So like, how can I present that like in a way that I won't sound bad, you know?
Well, I mean, if you don't have anything good to say about the offer, you don't really have to present much about it at all, you know? I mean, so like, is this an offer you've been on for a week or two? Like, give me more context around what you've done there.
Well, let's complete like one month like this week, like 4 weeks total.
Okay, so you've been on there for 4 weeks, and how many dials have you made total?
Total, I would say like 300.
And then you've booked 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, your numbers like aren't horrible in terms of output to the results, but it's not really a big enough sample size to necessarily um, be a big negative on your track record. It's not like you've been dialing on there for 6 months and getting no results. You know what I mean? It's like you've only been there for a month. So you can say I have some experience on this offer. I just wouldn't go into the interview kind of blaming the offer, being like, "Oh, I'm on this offer, but they keep switching the niche or they don't give me enough leads," or just kind of present your experience with it. If they say, "Hey, do you have any experience with setting?" and that's the only experience you have, you could say, "Yeah, I've been on this offer for the last month, and I've done X amount of dials. I've set 2 appointments." And you can go from there. But I don't think it's necessarily something that's a huge issue on your track record because you're not really working there full time, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you also don't have to use it a lot. Like there's lots of people who work at places for a week or two or a month or two and it's not on their resume because they didn't really fully get into it. You could just kind of omit that if unless it's totally necessary, they're asking specifically about it, you know?
Because I put that like my video, which by the way, I would like you to review.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Second.
What's up, team? Very nice to meet you through this phone. So, a little bit about me. My name is Matheus. I'm 20 years old, based in Brazil. And I'm excited to be your next setter. So, my background in sales started during the pandemic, where I was selling candy on the street. And that taught me a lot of persistence, how to handle rejection face to face, and build rapport quickly with people. And right now, I'm working an outbound offer specifically for the construction niche. And I'm the top performer of my team. I'm making over 100 plus cold calls per day and on average, I'm booking 2 qualified meetings. This role is giving me both the real experience and the confidence into moving for a setting position. And I've studied top frameworks of the big players like Straight Line System by Jordan Belfort and NPQ by Jeremy Miner. So that's it. I'm really excited to potentially become your setter, and I'm looking forward to see the next steps.
So the only one thing I'll say in terms of quality overall, camera quality, stuff like that looks good. I would update my audio quality, so get like a better mic for this, just so it sounds a little bit crisper. In terms of what was actually said in the video, it sounds like you were trying to make the construction video or history that you have sound as good as possible, but you also want to be careful not to make it sound like it's something it's not. So, I mean, based off what you're telling me, it doesn't sound like you're consistently doing 100 hours a day. It sounds like you did a total of 2 sets, when in this video, it kind of comes across that you're doing 2 sets a day because you said I did 100 hours a day and I'm getting 2 sets. So if that's not the case, and then they bring you in the interview and they ask you about the opportunity, and then you tell them what really is the case, they're not going to hire you based off of they might feel like you're not being truthful with them. So I would be very careful with that. Um, in terms of like overall, I would say like in terms of bringing up that opportunity, if you did want to use it, I would probably talk about the amount of dials you have and tie it to your work ethic. If you're like, you could say, hey, on the opportunity I have with this construction company, I've done more than 300 dials in, I don't know if you did like a lot at the beginning and then tapered off because of leads, or was it like you're only doing like 10, 15 a day and you've done 300 in the last month? What does that look like in terms of that opportunity?
Yeah, so like in the beginning they provide me like 300 leads, so like I did most of it in the beginning. And like
Like in
after
the first day, in the second day, in the third day?
so after that I changed the niche, so
But what
I
was it like?
couldn't.
How long did it take you to get through the 300 leads?
I would say one day, two. No,
Okay,
no, actually it was 2 days and a half. I would say.
2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would just, the way I would use it in my 1 minute video, I'd be like, I'm ready to work. On the offer I'm on right now is a construction niche. They gave me 300 days and I got, or 300 leads and I got through it in the first 2 days. You know what I mean? Um,
Oh,
that's how I would do it. That's how I would bring it up in the 1 minute video, just to use it as a way to show work ethic. Other than that, you did mention other sales. I think you said door to door, kind of like what we talked about with Stan. I would bring up any numbers that you could from there and use that as my history. And then for people that don't have a ton of sales experience, what's important is, I'm just gonna mute it for a second because I think it's echoing. What's important when you don't have a ton of sales experience is to have something that you can point to where you showcase that you can sell, because you're dealing with kind of, you know, three things: how you look, how you sound, and your track record. If you don't have the track record piece, all you're dealing with now is you better look better than everyone else and sound better than everyone else. The fourth piece that not many people really talk about as part of like the application process is the portfolio, right? And if you don't have a track record, your next best friend is going to be a portfolio, which is just examples of you selling. Because you have to think about, what does a track record do? It's proof that you can sell because you have sold. And that's what business owners are looking for. They're like, how do I know you can sell something? And you can either do that by being like, hey, this is how much I've sold, or you can say, look at my sales skills, and based off of their assumptions of what they see, they'll be like, yeah, this guy or gal can sell, right? And that's why they do mock calls in interviews, like in the interview process. Maybe in step 2, sometimes step 1, they'll do a mock call because they want to see, does this person have sales ideology that I agree with? Therefore, do I think that if I put them on the offer and they spoke in this way, if they sold in this way, I think they would do well? Well, if you don't have a track record to prove that those kinds of things, because you've sold stuff before, you can sort of do that with a track record, not with a track record, with a portfolio, which is clips and examples of you selling. Even better if your clips and examples are selling in the same niche as what you're applying to. So for example, if I'm trying to get on an offer, like a marketing offer with an agency, and I'm going to put together like a compilation of me doing discovery for like a marketing offer. I'm going to put together some examples of me pitching different marketing services. I'm going to put together examples of me handling objections from the perspective of, a marketing offer. And then I'm going to put that together, use a Google Drive. I mean, that's why I have like the Rep Select profile. You can put it on there, where whatever you're putting it on. And then in my intro video, if I don't have a huge track record, I'm going to do the best I can with the look, the best I can with the sound. And then I'm going to point them at the end of the video as kind of like a CTA of where they can learn more about and see my sales skills. So I'll end it off by being like, would love to jump on a call and showcase my skills, see if we're a good fit for each other. You can also click below. I sent you examples of me pitching, examples of me handling objections, and examples of me doing a discovery. Go ahead and watch that and see if I can sell. Like, you know what I mean? That you do a call to action to show them where they can learn more, because you don't have the proof of, hey, I've done 1 million, 10 million cash collected on XYZ offer. Now, you can get away with not having anything at all, just having the track record if you do. But for the people that don't, which I know a lot of people getting into the space don't, that's your best next thing is that track record piece. So that's what I would add to the end of yours. I would say, like, introduce myself. I've done XYZ sales and door to door. Using those skills and that experience has helped me crush remote closing. That experience has helped me become a better closer. To further hone my sales ability, I've also invested here and here. I have a ton of work ethic. I'm ready to set as many appointments as I can. I jumped on with a construction opportunity, and they gave me 300 leads to work with. And I got through them all within the first 2 days and set 2 appointments. I'm looking forward to seeing how I can set appointments for your company as well. Here's here's where you can find more examples of me selling and setting appointments. Great if you had like live calls of you setting those construction deals. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Looking forward to talking more. And like that's the kind of framework I would go through with that video, with the experience that you have. Does that make sense?
Uh, yeah. Do you think that I should more deep into this door grid, like where I was selling candy and these things, or
I didn't catch that. What did you say? Sorry.
you think? Do you think that I should go more deep into this door experience that I had? The long video.
Not deeper necessarily, but just like you just have to, I would just list the accomplishments. Another thing that a lot of businesses are looking at are, do you have a history of winning no matter what you did? Like, do you have a history of being a top performer? Like if I was doing door-to-door sales and I was the top performer, like that says more about me than just can this person do remote sales. It's like if you were a top performer at every company you've ever worked at, the odds of you being a top performer here, even though it's something you don't have an extensive experience in, are likely because you have the traits that it takes to put in the work to be one of the best on the team because you've always been one of the best on the team. You're used to that. So it's like they're looking for a history or a pattern of accomplishments and winning, right? Winners win no matter what it is they do. So I would portray that if you have any of that experience of door to door. If you were top of the team, top 5, top 2, top 3, depending on the size of the team, if you did the most units, the most revenue, if you had the highest close rate, like I would talk about those things. Whatever kind of metrics or accomplishments that you can bring to light. It's the same thing like when I'm setting up my profile in RepSelect, or if I'm putting my resume, people don't really care about like your job description in your resume and the specific tasks you did. They just care about the accomplishments. Like if you wanted to have like a killer resume, it would be job, accomplishment, 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 and not just personal accomplishments, but accomplishments where you contributed to the overall company winning. Like if you were a part of the team doing record numbers that quarter, that month, that year, I would put that as an achievement, under there, yeah. So for example, it's like, I think it was James was saying he was a CSM. If they had a record low month for refunds, chargebacks, or cancellations, or churn, or whatever metric they used, I would put that there. I would say like, lowest month ever in company history for churn. Like stuff like that just shows a pattern of winning and good performance. So that's what I would pull from that door-to-door experience.
It's thank you, Sai. Really helped
No
me a lot.
problem. No problem. Xanthi, what's up, man?
So hi, Ty. So I prepared 3 questions here. So
Mhm.
first is, let's say I can't message the recruiters on LinkedIn because the process that I understand you've taught before is choose a pipeline in the RepSelect platform or a job, then find these companies on LinkedIn. Then let's say I can find a recruiter there. Should I network with all the employees in the LinkedIn that shows the number or who their employee is for the
Yeah, so you're saying
company?
like after you find a job opportunity, if you're gonna go and connect with them on LinkedIn and who should you reach out to? I saw Stan in the chat, he said all of them. All of them, sure, but if we want to be most efficient, I would just reach
Yeah.
out to the ones that are relevant to the position, like all of the sales reps on the team. All of the, if the bigger the company, if they got like an HR department, sure. Obviously the CEO, founder, the smaller the company, the better chance you get a response there. If there's a sales manager, 100%. You don't necessarily need to like reach out to like the marketing person or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if I'm looking up a company and I can't find who the sales manager or the founder is, and I don't see a recruiter, but I see like people that are on the sales team, well, guess who'd be able to tell you who's in charge of the sales team? The sales reps, right? It's like I would reach out to the sales reps. If it was a team I really wanted to get onto, yeah, Stan's right. It doesn't hurt to just reach out to all of them. If it's like, because everyone should have that list of dream companies as well, where guys are crushing way more OTE than are comfortable with. It's like if there's a team where I'm like guys are doing 50, 100K a month, 50K a month, whatever number that I'm trying to hit, I would do, that's where it's just like whatever it takes to get on the team. If you have to reach out to everyone in the company, then that's just what you got to do, right? But if I'm talking about just pure efficiency, everyone that's involved with the department I'm trying to get on, and you can usually find sales reps. Like sales reps aren't hard to find because they're trying to put themselves out there. They're trying to be found, right? They're usually open to connecting, open to getting on calls, open to talking. They're the last ones that are usually gonna ghost you in terms of just reach outs because that probably happens to them all the time, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So let's say I chose someone who I'm gonna reach out to. So let's say you mentioned this outreach script on LinkedIn. So I'm curious, like let's say if I can message them on LinkedIn. So this is your message before, sample DM. So hey, I just applied to the role and these are the reasons I think I'm a good fit. So list of reasons. And
Mhm.
here's a little bit about me so you can see a little bit about my skill set. Then send the rep select profile, then
Mhm.
just follow up them. So I think for LinkedIn, you can go direct with that, right? So let's say I can message them on LinkedIn because of like the rule there, like third degree of connection, something like that, because I can't message some people there. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking of messaging them on Facebook. So should I go direct or just build rapport on my DMs? Like how would you do it?
I mean, it depends on who I'm reaching out to and why, right? I mean, it's always best to engage a bit before reaching out if it's a big company. I mean, the chances of you getting it are higher, but again, also if you're trying to get a job as soon as possible, like that post that you talked about, that script is specifically for a open job opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So if there's an open job opportunity, I'm not going to wait a week of engaging before reaching out because the jobs probably might be gone. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if there's an open job opportunity, I'm going to reach out directly. I'm going to say, hey, like you said, just apply to the role, XYZ, everything else there. But if it's just like, hey, I know this is a big company, I don't see any openings that they've posted. I
Mhm.
know this is a company I want to work with, though. That's when I'm going to engage with their content for maybe a week, 2 weeks, build some goodwill, and then reach out and connect with them. Probably not that exact same message because, that message is for a open job opportunity, but I would touch base and reach out after a week or two of engaging with that person's content.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for that. And let's say it's just a closer that you've seen on Facebook. So how would you go with a conversation like from opening to asking if they know someone that's hiring for setters or closers?
Well, again, it's all context. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't just ask a closer, "Hey, do you know anyone that's hiring?" If I'm
Yeah.
reaching out to a closer, it's because they're on a team I want to be a part of. So I'm just gonna ask them about their company, right?
Ah,
Because
sabot.
again, if you're just like, "Hey, do you know anyone that's hiring?" It's like, not like, there's not much benefit in just asking that question. Um, if I saw them on a good team, I would say, "Hey, saw you work on XYZ team. How long have you been there?" Oh, I've been on the
Oh,
team for about 5 months. Oh, awesome, man. I was on XYZ team. How is it closing for them? You know,
okay.
like just get into a conversation and then you can ask to be like, oh, do they have a sales manager or do you guys get to work directly with influencer or whatever? You know what I mean? Be like,
Wow.
oh no, we got a sales manager. Be like, oh, cool. Who manages the team? Oh, this guy. Sweet. Like, you know what I mean? And then you could keep asking questions and be like, oh, do you guys bring on new guys often? Whatever. Or once you have the manager's name, you could just reach out directly to the manager if you want to. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, makes sense now. And what are your thoughts? Because I'm looking to send 100 personalized looms for this week, but I was also thinking like it's gonna consume a lot of my time. So do you think that's a good strategy if you are looking to land a role within a week or 2 weeks, like making personalized loom for 100 different people that you're gonna
No.
do network outreach to?
Unless
Okay.
there was like personalized looms are reserved for like I don't want to say dream offers because that could be super rare, but I would say just like really like good opportunities, you know? Like I would save personalized looms for good opportunities that like have a team, reps are crushing, like, you know what I mean? That's when I
Yeah.
would get more personal. If I can't really see that from the outside looking in, I would probably send my general loom and go from there. I wouldn't try to make 100 custom looms and send it to everyone. Like that just doesn't seem very efficient. The most efficient thing you could possibly do is is build really good relationships with recruiters. That's the best thing because that's like one to many. You know what I mean? One recruiter probably has access to 10 to 20 different offers at any given time. So the first thing I would do, like if I was just plopped into this industry today, step one, get in contact with every single recruiter at the major companies that recruit. Because if I talk to 10 recruiters, I've probably been assessed or put in front of, or at least thought about in regards to 100+ businesses right there. Because they're like, okay, you know what I mean? They're thinking, okay, who is this? Is this guy a good fit for this company? This company? Each recruiter is seeing if you're a good fit for at least 10 to 20 different companies. So that's the first thing I would do. Then I would go and start applying to other opportunities that are brand new. And then I would apply to old opportunities as well, because companies are always willing to hire a talented rep. So I wouldn't, like, a lot of people, they say, oh, I applied to all the jobs within the last 7 days. And it's like, well, there's tons of companies that are still looking for talent, even though they posted their job opportunity like a month ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Don't just ignore those opportunities as well. That's kind of like the order I would go. But even just like how I said, for those of you that were here at the beginning of the call, it's like in sales, you're balancing your short-term actions, your I want result now actions with your long-term actions. Same thing when, if just like the interview process and looking for a job, you have short-term actions and long-term actions. Short-term actions being just applying to jobs directly, reaching out directly, shooting DMs. Your long-term actions are building your brand, building your network, engaging with other sales managers in, in the niche you want to work in. Those things are kind of, and again, just like how I said, for sales reps, it's easy to just skip over and be like, it's not going to give me results, forget about it. But in the long run, that's how you get tons of opportunities. Opportunities are coming to you inbound. People are recommending you to opportunities, and getting roles is easier because you have a little bit of a brand behind you. So then when each application goes further, right? So that you got to be able to balance both activities, short term and long term.
Yeah, so recruiters, new job opportunities, then old job opportunities. That's the hierarchy of priority for you, right?
In terms of my short term actions, yes, those are like, what's gonna encompass my, like how I said, you have the short term and long term. That's what's gonna encompass my short term activities, and reach outs is gonna be those three sources. And then obviously, once you feel like you've tapped out a lot of that, you can either just keep reaching out to those kinds of opportunities, but then there's also just looking for companies in general. You'll find there's tons of opportunities out there just by looking for companies in general, not necessarily waiting for the ones that post job ads.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
No problem. We're going to answer Tyrone, then Jordan, and then we'll take a look at some of these 1-minute videos that are thrown in the chat. I'm not sure if Jordan's still here. I think he jumped, but I know we have Elisa. I know you posted one, so we'll take a look at yours, as well as Abdul if he's still here. Not sure if he's still here. Cool. Tyrone, what's up?
Cheers. So it's just a couple questions. One of them being, obviously, I haven't got any sales experience. In terms of my background, I've been mainly playing sports over the last few years. I've got my own sports coaching company, but that's more face-to-face type sales. So it's nothing remote based. So obviously, when I come across this opportunity, I thought, it's not something I've ever done before, but it's something I feel I could be good at. How should I lean on that in a 1-minute video to kind of grab a business's attention, even though I might not have 2, 3, 400,000 in revenue generated for a company or anything like that? How could I lean onto my actual skill set a bit more, and especially like you said, in the first 10-20 seconds?
So if we go through it, you said you have your own sports coaching company.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. So I started up about 18 months ago, and it's literally private coaching, football coaching, 1-to-1, 2-to-1. I've got it like advertised over social media, so I have like a social media page on Facebook and Instagram. I do it alongside obviously playing sport myself, and it was more of a thing that I was interested at the time. And then as time's gone on, I've kind of thought, I'd like to get into sales, because I actually prefer that side of things actually compared to what I was doing myself. But yeah, it's just obviously, per hour, you get paid per hour, or doing block sessions. one-to-one, like a basketball camp, if you have that over in America and Canada, like soccer camps, that sort of thing.
And how many people have you worked with in that company in the last 18 months?
I'll probably definitely over, say, around, I'd say 50 to 60, 50, 60, probably in that time period. And obviously you've got your regulars and then people maybe monthly or weekly.
Is
But
it
I'll probably
50 or
say
60? What do you think?
I'll probably say bang in the middle for like 55.
55? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what other experience do you have?
In terms of sales, that, in my opinion, that would probably be it. Like I said, I've played professional sport growing up and now playing semi-professional. So that's literally
Professional, you
what all
said
I've done
professional
is,
football?
yeah,
When you say football, do you mean soccer?
soccer. Yeah, soccer.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. How long do you play professional football for?
6 years. So I came into semi-professional about 3 years ago.
Okay. What else? Anything else you think you could utilize?
I've been doing on the side when I started up my sports coaching business. I actually went into a few schools originally looking for coaching opportunities, but actually got into mentoring. So working with kids of different backgrounds and kind of working with them and their families in terms of getting their, say if they're misbehaving, but also maybe their performances in school ain't good in terms of their results, trying to get them on track. So kind of educating, mentoring, being someone that's looked as someone easy to talk to and trust. But that's more obviously not sales related. That's kind of just building up good relationships, good rapport within the school, with parents, with students. That's the only other experience in terms of communication wise. But with my business, most of it has been word of mouth. From where it grown from, at the start, I probably had two or three, and then I put out some advertisement stuff, and it grew, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Where it became more of from a side hustle to like a full-time income.
And when you say put
So
out advertisements, what, like just like social media posts, or what did you do?
yeah, like Instagram posts, but mainly was using like like the creator ads on Facebook.
Okay.
And then it puts it out to like a certain audience. So I'll select, more than likely, women or parents will be easier to, they'll click on your link or click on your page and then they'll direct message you over Facebook and look to book in sessions. But also when there's like a specific area, I'm living down south. I don't want people in the north of England hitting me up because I don't deliver sessions up there. So
Yeah.
then directing it to a certain area. So more those type of ads.
And what have you done any type of training for remote sales at all?
Yeah, no, I've done your one. I think it's just how to get started into remote sales was like a 3.5 hour video. That was like the first ever one I ever done. But since then I've done a lot on Alex Hormozi. Looked mainly through his YouTube content and the 4 hour videos, going through them. There was a guy called Joel Vasquez Antonio, I believe, who had a few stuff on Udemy, a lot of stuff on Udemy. So picking out a few courses on there and just kind of getting the knowledge of how to sell. But not just even in terms of just communication. Obviously, you want to be able to ask the deeper questions, be able to someone that can solve problems, kind of think into why is this person making this choice now, and kind of going through things that way and just thinking, well, I've got maybe natural skills I'm good at as a communicator, but then that isn't going to be enough. So refining that to actually be good, because I would like to get into closing. So being able to refine them skills in that direction, I guess.
So again, you don't have to say a ton, right? The main thing you're going to lean on is your confidence, your communication skills, and, maybe some of the transferable skills from playing professional football. Obviously, the know-how to sell your own stuff, running your own ads, that will help as well. So I might just be like, hi, I'm Tyrone. I'm looking to be on your team as a closer. My main experience with sales was generating over 55 new clients for my own football coaching business that I would run ads and close deals myself. I also have 6 years of playing football professionally, so I know how to get results through my hard work. To
Yeah.
further hone my skills, I've done extensive studying through XYZ, Oxymozy, Closer College, whatever. And I know that I'm able and ready to perform on your team. Looking forward to working with you. I'd love to get on a call to showcase my skills. You can also see some recordings of me selling XYZ services that I've sent you down below. Talk soon. You know, like I would say something short and sweet like that.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. My next question was in terms of like my LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, what is the best way? I mean, for me, I believe health and fitness would probably be a niche I would probably fit into quite well. Or anything like, well-being, anything like
That'd be an
that, just
easy one
because
to
it's something,
land. Yeah.
yeah, just because of my previous background. But what's the best way to, I know you've mentioned a bit there about actually going to finding people who actually work for the companies, but what's the best way to find people or even potential offers, say, in that space? What could I be searching up?
Well, if you're looking for like a fitness offer, Instagram is going to be easy to find them, right? Because
Yeah.
you just start clicking, just all the fitness influencers, most of them have programs, right? Like,
Yeah.
you click one of them, you're going to get a bunch of them. The best thing to do actually is like in your niche, whatever your niche is, click on content and like content in whatever niche you want to sell in, you'll start getting ads. And
Yeah.
the ads you get, those are the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one way. Another way is check the Facebook ad library. If any of you have ever gone to just type in Facebook ad library on Google and type in your niche, filter to United States or whatever country, type in your niche, and it'll show you literally ads of everyone that is running ads on Facebook. You can even look at my ads on there. Like you can like if someone is running ads on Facebook, it's in the Facebook ad library. There's no like way to hide your ads from the ad library. So you can see every single ad from every single type of trainer, marketing agency, whatever, right there. Type in your niche, look who's running ads. The way I would do it is the older the ad that's still active, the greener the flag, because ads that are old, which means they've been running for a long time, like I have an ad that's been running for like over a year. It's running for over a year because it works. Like no one's running an ad for a long time that loses them money. So if they're running ads for a long time that's making the money, then they probably have good lead flow. It's just, it's not 100% guarantees, but these are some of the hints, right? Versus, for example, you find someone who's like their first ad ever was launched like last week. It's probably not a company with great leads and all that stuff that you want to work with. If their main lead source is ads. Obviously, there's other kind of ways to find ads to get leads. But if their main lead source is ads, that's what I'm looking at their history there. So that's one way. You can type in fitness in the Facebook ad library, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of stuff there. You might get a bunch of gyms and stuff like that, but you can kind of filter through it. Another way is like if I'm on LinkedIn, just type in niche coach. If I want to do B2B, business coach, advertising coach, copywriting coach, e-commerce coach, or swap coach with consultant. Filter. I love LinkedIn because there's so many filters. You can filter by title, okay, like there's so many filters. Filter by, founder. This is one thing, CEO and owner. Mostly CEO, you get bigger, more corporate-y companies. Founder, you usually get kind of like the smaller solopreneur type of companies, right? So that's one way. If I'm specifically looking, there's also directories. If I'm specifically looking to work with a marketing agency, there's a directory like Clutch. Clutch, is it Clutch.io or Clutch.co? Something like that. Just type in Clutch agency directory on Google, it'll come up. Clutch has, it's like a Google reviews or like list of marketing agencies. So there's hundreds of thousands of agencies delivering all types of services on Clutch, and you can filter by company size. I would probably find ones like easiest ones to get on would probably be ones that have between 10 and 100 employees. So I would do like the 10 and 50 and the 50 and 100, and I would reach out to those. Usually companies that have like 50 to 100 employees are probably within the 10 million range, maybe 10 to 30 million a year range. So that's a solid one. Ones that have 2 to 10 employees or 2 to 10 employees, around a million a year if they're doing things really well. If they might be around 50, 60K a month if they're doing things well. Um, 10 to 50 employees, probably around the 1 to 5, 1 to 10 million a year. That's a pretty solid company to work with as well. So I would do anywhere from like that 10 to 100, unless I was really struggling to find offers, then I would go smaller. That's if I wanted to work with marketing agencies in particular. But yeah, Instagram's going to be good if you're looking for fitness offers. Facebook's going to be good if you're looking for fitness offers. LinkedIn as well, but they probably don't use LinkedIn as much, unless they're really into like the business side of their company.
Okay, brilliant. And I just had one more question. I know you mentioned portfolio then, it came to me. It was in terms of, should I use my sales experience in terms of my football coaching business in my portfolio, or would it be better for me to potentially use mock calls that I've been doing over the last like
Both.
5-6 months? Both, yeah?
Yep. Both.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. Jordan, what's up, man?
Hi, Ty. I just wanted to ask you, I've heard different things about Loom videos. You said don't have a background. Some people say have a background because you want to show your proof over promises. I've put my Loom video in the chat, the first one. I would love if you could take a look at it. Again, there I show my proof over promises, so I'm not just saying that I've closed this, I've got actual physical evidence. But yeah, if you could have a look at it, tell me what you think. Yeah.
For sure. One thing I'll say is like, I understand the logic behind it, but
Yeah.
I've just heard so many times business owners and like recruiters that recruit for some of the biggest companies, they're like they hate the talking head videos. They hate them. They're like they don't want to see it. They don't care to see it. They just want to see you talking, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing I'll say. Because you can show all this stuff in your resume. You can show all this stuff in your website profile. You can show all this stuff in a doc. You can show all this stuff. The video is supposed to be the video. You know what I mean? They want to see how you communicate, not how you do a slide presentation. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at it.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I'm going to show you in under 2 minutes how I can make your business more money through closing more deals. A little background about me, I'm all about proof over promises, so I've got 8 years of sales experience working both in B2C and B2B. I've sold high-ticket fitness coaching programs for one of the UK's largest healthcare providers.
Yeah, because then it's just you showing them how you read, not how you communicate. You know what I mean? You're just reading off slides. They want to feel more connection. Again, because this is not necessarily how you're going to be selling on sales calls. Yes, they do slide decks sometimes, but most offers in the high ticket sales space, they don't do slide decks and stuff. So majority of the time, it's just going to be you on camera speaking to someone face to face. So they want to see how you are in that setting, as close to that setting as possible.
Health. I have 6 figures plus in cash collected, and as you can see here, I was a top sales rep in the company for many years reoccurring. So what can I do for you today? I've pivoted my skills online to help businesses like yourself turn your sales pipeline into high-paying clients. I've got a conversion rate of at least 40%.
Like all great data, but your audio is super quiet. And then the talking head and doing it in a slideshow format is going to hurt you for sure. But you have the track, like you have everything you need to make a killer video.
If I don't meet this 40%, you can get rid of me straight away.
Thank you. I'm just struggling with the structure on how to put it together, you know?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, right? Like, hey, I'm Jordan. Looking forward to crush it on your team as a closer. I have over 8 years of sales experience across B2B and B2C. I've sold, fitness coaching programs. I've sold healthcare, whatever you said there, and I've collected over 200,000, whatever collected you say there. On these offers, I maintained a 40% plus close rate, and I'm ready to crush on your offer. Like, you know what I mean? You can literally just say that. Like, that would be enough. You've got more than enough a track record to interest them. If you come with good energy, massive conviction, a good looking setup where they're like, cool, he's ready to jump on calls in this setup, you'll have no problem getting interviews, man. You don't need to do this like slideshow thing.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah.
No problem. I know we have Elisa's here. Are you still there, Elisa?
Same here.
Awesome. Let's take a listen.
I am Lisa, and Hey team, I am Lisa and I'm based out of Italy. I'm really excited to be working with you. I have experience in customer service management and I've been a cold caller for 2 different marketing offers over the past 6 months. I was consistently dialing over 100 calls on a daily basis to supercall traffic, pushing as much volume as possible. While I gave it everything I had, the lack of strong backend systems and lead quality limited the impact that I could make. That's why I'm applying to a new role. Paired with my proven tenacity, work ethic, and ability to perform under challenging situations, I am confident I can absolutely crush it in my next role. I thrive in competitive yet supportive, fast-paced environments where everyone pushes to become their best version on a daily basis. I also value a leader who can help me build strong skills and provide me with constructive, continuous feedback. I am a firm believer that actions speak louder than words, and so I want to share my biggest achievements. I moved abroad alone twice in my life to study languages. The first time I moved to the US at 16 years old to study English. Then I moved at 8 years old to Korea to study Korean. In both cases, I was able to earn a high language certification in just a little bit over than 1 year. This proves my commitment. When I set my mind into something, I work hard until I achieve it. I'm available to connect anytime to hear the next steps. Thank you.
So it's a good video. I like everything you said except one piece, and then I have two pieces I'd fix. So one thing I would take out, or at least I would kind of like swap around, is where you spoke negatively about the last offer and said that was your reason for transitioning. So I would want to keep that off. And I would just like, you could even just say, I'm looking for my next challenge, looking for the next company that I can, you know, provide, get great results for, right? I don't want you to be like, because come across as complaining about an offer, complaining about a lead flow or systems or whatever like that, because a lot of business owners look at that negatively. So I would take that piece out. Second piece of feedback I would give here is there's nothing wrong with the setup. It just looks like you're like standing up somewhere. Is that the case?
I was sitting down, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I would maybe, well, I guess if you're sitting down, it looks like you're standing up somewhere, but if that's not the case, then that's fine. I would say the only other thing is the cadence felt like we were just reading a script a bit, only a little
Okay.
bit. So I would try to make it feel a little bit more conversational, like you were in conversation with the way you were saying it. But honestly, this is a great video overall. This is a great video. Those are small things that I would fix. But overall, it's solid.
Okay, thank you. And I do have another question.
Mhm.
I have experience in cold calling, as I mentioned in the video, and I'm trying to move into inbound. And I'm applying to the pipelines and some of the offers that I'm finding, but I do kind of have a hard time. Do you have any like tip that I could use? Because for example, I tried to hit net revenue and I like passed the first screening and they offered me a DM setting role, but it's something really I cannot do. I don't stand it like texting. And so I told them like I would bring more value to the team as a like phone setter. And she told me like, oh, okay, that's good to know. We feel the position for DM setting apply later in the future for any other possible role. How do I handle that?
You mean in terms of them just saying the position was filled and they'll apply later?
Yeah, like because she said like, oh, you can like text us back in like a while when we'll have more phone setting roles, but I'm
Well, I
sure
mean,
they
it's
didn't have
not
them.
like a lot of this stuff is timing, like especially because net revenues, they're done for you sales team. If they don't have the space, and they just don't have the space if they're not looking to bring someone on for that role. So I would keep in touch and I would follow up with them and I would make sure that you're maximizing with all the recruiters. But timing is a big piece. As a setter, one piece of leverage you do have if it's like a team where they have setters and stuff like that, you could offer trial runs. That's a good way to get on teams. You can say, hey, and I'm willing to prove my worth. Give me all of the old leads that you haven't touched in months, and I'll show you what I can do. And then you
Okay.
can go and if you can set deals and get deals closed from their old leads, then they'll give you their fresh ones and go from there. Like, because a lot of this stuff is about proof. If business owners were sure that you could get them results, they would bring you on board. So even as a closer, if you want to be on a team as a closer, you could say, hey, I would love to close for you. They're like, oh, maybe you don't have the experience or we like you, but we want someone with 1 million cash collected, whatever. I would literally just tell them, I'd be like, hey, let me let me self-set and close your old deals, and then if I close them, you can give me your inbound calls. Like, you know what I mean? Just make a deal like that
Mm-hmm.
if you're struggling to land an offer with a bigger company. That's a good way to get on companies that are big because leads are expensive. Inbound calls are expensive. So proving it is going to be your best way possible. With a recruiting company like that, yeah, it's all of the recruiters hit them up frequently. And it's not like don't with net revenue, they're done for you teams is a little bit different. With other recruiters, they're usually posting new roles all the time, right? Those companies, you want to every role that you like that they post, talk to them about it. Because what a lot of people do with recruiters, and I know this is a little bit different from what you were asking, but hopefully I already answered the question. But what a lot of people do is they apply to like a recruiting pipeline, and then they get in the pipeline, they do the interview, and the recruiter either gives them an interview right away, or they say, hey, we'll hit you up when there is an interview. Whether they do an interview now or one later, whatever happens, that's usually like the last time they talk to a recruiter, unless the recruiter like just comes out of nowhere and hits them up with something. And the problem with that is you guys got to realize these recruiters have hundreds, if not thousands of people every month coming into their pipeline. And the odds of that, even if an offer came across their table next week that was perfect for you and you were a perfect fit on paper, the odds of them specifically remembering you are so slim. So don't be afraid to like hit up a recruiter every other week or every month about a different offer they're posting. Don't like
Okay.
definitely do that because for example, I talked to Joel Ellister from I can't remember what his company's name is now, but I was talking to him. He's one of the big recruiters there. I think it's not Nomadic Closer. It's it slipped my mind. One of the big recruiters. He's got 50,000 reps in his pipeline. When I used to work at Closers.io with Cole Gordon, I could see was in the pipeline. There was over 100,000 reps in there. So like when these recruiters are
Okay.
like posting opportunities, let's say you're like, oh, I already interviewed with them 2 months ago. They're not remembering you. They get like, I remember Closers.io, they were getting 7,000 to 8,000 new reps a month in the pipeline or something for a while. It was like, they're not going to remember you because you interviewed 2 months ago. Like, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
every single offer they post that you like, hit them up again, hit them up again, hit them up again. You'll get an interview every time if you hit them up in the right way and you build a good relationship. So don't be afraid to do that. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Amir, what's up, man?
What's up? I posted a 1 minute intro in the chat if you're able to check it out.
For sure. Let's take a look.
I'm excited to apply for the sales rep position at your company. To keep this short and sweet, my name is Emil. I'm from the UK, more specifically Oxford. Previously, I was a fitness coach, but I transitioned into sales because I knew I could help people on a much larger scale.
I mean, you probably already heard me say the thing about the talking head, so I won't repeat myself there. The way you're dressed will hurt you on every single application other than fitness offers. Right? So you want to be dressed a little bit more professionally if you're applying to something that's not a fitness offer. For a fitness offer, fine. But for any other offer that's going to hurt you, let's listen to it again.
My name is Emil. I'm from the UK, more specifically Oxford. Previously, I was a fitness coach, but I transitioned into sales because I knew I could help people on a much larger scale. My most relevant experience would be a fitness coaching program that I sold. It was a $6,000 fitness program for a 4-month period. The first month closing on that offer, I had a 32% close rate. Around 70% of my deals that I closed were paid in fulls. So why do I feel like I'd be a good fit for this company? So not only am I into sales, I have a very good understanding of the fitness industry. And I'm also very, very passionate about it. So when it comes to speaking to prospects, not only are we going to have better conversations, they're going to flow much better, and I'm going to build a lot more trust in these conversations, which in turn is going to lead into more sales and more revenue for the company. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I kept it short and sweet. I gave you relevant information. Hopefully we can jump on a call together and get to know each other some more and potentially get started and start scaling up this company. Thank you.
Absolutely nothing wrong with anything you said. Again, if you're applying to fitness offers, this would be a solid video. If it was zoomed in, proper, full screen, fitness offer application, and then minus the jump cuts. You got to be able to pitch yourself consistently, cleanly. You got to be able to talk for a minute straight without the cuts. Other than that, it would be a solid video. So if you're like, we got rid of the cuts, set everything the same, confident, no talking head, full video, solid. You'll get a lot of fitness offer interviews with that.
Yeah, that was made predominantly for fitness offers, but I guess if I want to make a more generalized one, just wear something a bit different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're fine if it's fitness offers. But if not, then yeah, it'll be harder. But yeah, man, just minus the jump cuts, minus the talking head, you're solid.
When you say talking head, do you mean it's like a full screen?
Yeah, like instead of like kind of like doing it like Elise's where it's full instead of just like the
Yeah.
floating head on Loom here. I mean, Loom can do it. You just hit the square one instead of the screen sharing nothing. Because you also remember most people are watching these on their phones too. So you're this small on my computer, you're gonna be even smaller on the phone. So yeah.
Got it. And another thing, would you recommend always putting like the cash collected in the intro video, or was it fine
If
that
it's a lot,
yeah,
you know,
I've maybe
like
got
you don't
like
want to
four,
say I've collected 10K, you know. How much did you collect? I think I missed that piece.
I didn't mention it in the video, but I've collected probably around 400K.
Yeah, dude, mention it.
Okay.
Anything, I would say mention anything over 100K. Like big companies want a minimum of 1 million, but anything over 100K will be a positive, like better than saying nothing, you know. So 400K solid. 400 to 500K is like a good is where it starts to like be a big positive to your resume. But yeah, I would add it.
And also, sorry, just another question.
Mhm.
For like my rep select profile, I've noticed like other people are like for the revenue generated, they're kind of including jobs or things outside of high ticket. Is that what you're supposed to do? Like, should I be adding that?
Yeah, I would if it was sales. Like if it was like if they sold stuff, then yes. If it wasn't sales, then obviously not. Like I wouldn't say I worked in like a clothing store. I worked in Walmart and I cashiered $10 million in the first, like, you know what I mean? But if it's sales, then yeah, sure.
Like one of the places I worked was selling suits, and that was sales, and I worked on commission. Like, would you include that or maybe not?
Kind of like in a store, right? Maybe not.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, like door to door events, you know, tech sales, remote tech sale, like that kind of stuff, sure. But I wouldn't do like clothing stores, that kind of stuff. Even like couches, if you're really actually maybe not. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no 100% right or wrong with it. It just comes down to will the business owner take it more seriously or not, which, you know. So I wouldn't 100% be against it, but yeah. I would still
Okay.
say that you did some sales if you did generate some good revenue there. You could still put it like in the description of when you have it there. I would still add the employment history.
Okay. Appreciate the help. Thanks.
No problem. Tyrone, what's up, man?
It's just a quick one. In regards to what Stan said in the chat, would advanced sales, like advanced sales training, I know that can't be a negative, but is it a necessity in terms of looking to sound good on your portfolio and resume and stuff to have that?
Does it help the portfolio? Yeah. Yeah, it would definitely help the resume. I mean, that's the thing though. I wouldn't invest in something to help the resume because it's not going to make such a big impact that it's worth whatever you invest. Like, I wouldn't go drop
Yeah.
5 or 10K in a sales coach because for the sole purpose of putting it on the resume, right? Like,
Yeah,
you invested it to help you fast track the process, improving at sales, improving your interview process and skills. That is where it's worth it. Maybe it improves your applications by 10%, 1%. That really comes down to the business owner and how much they value whatever coach, right? Like for example, I've had people apply for stuff and the coach is like, I know Ty, so I like his stuff. Therefore, chances of them getting hired on that offer was higher. But if
Yeah.
like if you're applying for a job where they don't know any of the people that you paid for training, like they're not like they're not gonna care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Dante, what's up, man?
Yeah, so for the Rep Select profile platform, so there's jobs there, right? And I click apply this job and it says like I already applied for the job. So how can I be notified if I'm gonna get an offer from them or what?
Oh, you mean where it says like already applied when you scroll down?
Yeah, so I'm kind of confused with that. So I click there and it's included in my pipeline section that, yeah. So how can I be notified if I'm gonna be shortlisted with a job for an
Oh,
interview
I
or what?
mean, so you do get notified if they view your profile. It's in your notifications. Um, when
Mm,
it comes to, I mean, like they gotta reach out to you. Like if they never hit you up, then they don't hit you up, right? But when you apply to a job, if they like you, they'll shoot you a message or reach out to you. They'll either shoot you a message on the platform or they'll, give because like they'll give you a call, give you an email. When you apply, they can see your email, so they'll reach out if they like your application.
So most likely I did that right. Like click the apply job button on the bottom part, then that's it, right? Like if they're already if
If
the
if it says we've sent the business owner your profile,
yeah, 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 yeah.
then yeah. If it's like that means they've opted to not have like an external application link to where you fill out stuff. It's just solely on platform. Then yeah, your
Mm,
whatever is on your reps like profile is what gets sent to them.
okay.
So you just got to make sure your profile looks good and is filled out because that's what gets sent to the business owners in that case. And I know it doesn't give the contact link for those business owners, but I would still take their name, take the business name, and I would still search them up on LinkedIn and do the same thing, reach out to them off platform, and try to get in touch with them.
Yeah. Thank you, Ty.
No problem. Any final questions before we jump? I think there was one more intro video here. Abdul, let's take a look at yours, man. Let's take a look here. You still there, Abdul?
Yeah, thanks. Can
Awesome.
you hear
Let's take a
me?
look. Yep. Let's take a look.
Ah, I have a couple of things. I have been at ticket sales since April. Before this time, I have little sales experience selling a $15 info product online, and I made $250 from interacting with 120 people in just 4 weeks. With that beginner luck in sales, I take a copywriting program to learn about what really drive people to kind of buy stuff. Currently, I am mastering appointment setting, doing daily mock calls, and learning from great guys like Yash and Andrea in the APAT team community. I have also attached a link of my mock setting showcasing my ability to book quality qualified lead for your closers to close. If you want a seller who's not just only coachable and reliable, but who hits daily set budgets without making any excuses, let's talk to see if we can possibly be a great fit. Thank you for your time and see you soon. Bye bye.
The main thing is it's a little hard to hear you here. I would want to get the microphone louder. It's hard to hear what you're saying. And then when you talk about this sales experience here, let's listen to it one more time.
Sales experience selling a $15 info product online, and I made $250 from interacting with 120 people in just 4 weeks. With that beginner luck in sales, I take a copywriting program to learn about what really drive people to.
I think you said you sold a $15 thing and sold $200 worth, was it?
Yeah,
And it was, you said 4 weeks? How many units is that? How many units did you sold? What was it? 200 and what?
17
Seven.
units. 17 units.
Okay, so whenever we're talking about numbers, this is a good thing for everyone. The one thing I
Can
would
you hear
change
me?
with this, yeah, I can hear you. Whenever we're talking about numbers, I'm always thinking to myself, okay, what's the sexiest number to put on the forefront, right? $15 offer, that's not really that exciting for a business owner to hear about. $200 in total revenue generated, that's not really exciting for them to hear about. But 17 units in 4 weeks might be good, or 17 units in the first month sounds like a good number, right? So I might say I sold over 17 units in the first month or in the first 3 weeks or first 4 weeks, whatever that was. And that's how I would portray the information instead of saying, like, you don't need to say all the information. You just need to say the parts of the information that sounds great. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, understand.
Cool. That's what I would change here. Xanthi, what's up? Last question before
Yeah,
I gotta jump.
last question. So I'm gonna have a group interview in the next following days. So just wanna like quick general tips. Like, how can I stand out in a group interview? Because I've been struggling with that the last 2 weeks. I've been doing group interviews. Like, I'm not moving in
Did
the
you
next
watch my
round.
YouTube video about how to stand out in a group interview?
Not yet. Yeah. So you have that. Okay.
You gotta watch that.
I have.
I'll answer a little bit real quickly. Yeah, I'll drop this recording, guys. I'll throw it in school and throw it in the classroom. So I'll say this about group interviews. Most business owners, most things you could do to stand out in a group interview is one, always go first. Always, always, always go first. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but like they like the balls that you have by doing that. You know, it shows confidence. You know what I mean? Go first. If they ask a question, they usually pose the question to the group. If they don't specify the order, jump in. Go first. You will be remembered. It's about standing out. They'll remember the guy that answers first, not the one who hides behind everyone else, right? Secondly, keep your answers short and concise. 2 minutes. Not one, not three, 2 minutes. Right? There's a good book on, you know, how to answer interview questions and how to pass interviews, and it talks about 1 minute answers are considered usually unprepared. 3 minute answers is usually when you get into too long and rambling territory. 2 minutes is the sweet spot. You want it to be short, concise, to the point, and direct. Answer the question and say no more and say no less. What else? Stand out interview questions. You can stand out a lot by asking great questions. Ask good questions at the end of the interview. Watch my video on how to pass interviews. That is a free training video. If you go into the school, into the classroom, and you go to there's like I think it's like the second course. It's like called Rep Select or something. I have a free training video on how to answer interview questions. So go through that. Yeah, repselect.io-sales jobs. It's in there in the classroom. And then watch that YouTube video on passing or like on group interviews and stuff. There's some good info. There are 3 ways to stand out in a group interview, and I think I just talked about 2 of them. But yeah, that is what I would do, dude. Watch those 2 videos. You'll get a ton of info. But primarily, man, answer first, ask great questions, and keep your answers concise.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you.
No problem. Hopefully, everyone got some value from this call. Hopefully it was helpful. We're going to be doing this every single Monday. So if you have questions, if you need help, come out every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ty.
Bye.
Later.